Hello, everyone. This is Hemeshree Shintre, and I'm a student of B.Ed. I'm doing my B.Ed from HB B.Ed College, which is located in Vashi, Navi Mumbai. So I'm very glad to present today's topic with all of you, and I hope my presentation uh, you know it clicks and you enjoy this presentation, and of course there's a takeaway after this presentation. So without wasting any time, let's begin today's presentation. My topic for today is motivation, its meaning, types, educational implications, and the theory attached to it, which is given by Maslow. Okay, so now let's begin. We'll first see what is the meaning of the word motivation. As we all know, where the word motivation is a very positive word. Okay, it gives us a lot of positivity. How? Motivation is generally defined as a force that compels us to action. It drives us to work hard and pushes us to succeed. Motivation influences our behavior and our ability to accomplish goals. Motivation is a driving force through which people strive to achieve their goals and fulfill their needs or uphold a value. Now, in simple words, what is motivation? Motivation is that driving force that helps, that always encourages us, okay, that encourages us to do something or to do some action. There are different types of motivations. Let's now see what type of motivations we have. First one is the intrinsic motivation, or we can say an internal force that is driving us to do better or to do some action. This is a very solid kind of motivation because it stays for a longer period of time. In the sense, if you are motivated, you are self motivated. What do you mean by self motivated? Self motivated means nobody is telling you to do that thing, but your inner self is pushing you or motivating you or encouraging you to do some action. So, in this case, you're not doing things for somebody or for something or for some reward for that matter. You're doing it because your own self is telling you to do it. So, intrinsic motivation is basically an internal force or motive within the individual which propels him or her into emitting certain behavior. It is an innate or genetically predetermined disposition to behave in a particular way when he or she faces a particular situation. This type of motivation can make an individual to have the feeling of self-confidence and competence. And from where are we getting this confidence? We get this confidence because our own self is telling us to do certain things. Nobody else has told us to do this. So we are self motivated. We have our self confidence at its peak. Okay, now the second type of motivation is extrinsic, which is just opposite of the intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation, as the name suggests, is an external factor which is forcing us to do something or to behave in a particular manner. For example, if there is a student who is working hard for the examination because he wants better grades, okay, or it can be a positive thing also, like for getting good grades, or it can be for negative also, to avoid something negative happening to you. Like, for example, a child might study because his father or mother or parent or any guardian or teacher would have told that if you don't score well, you'll be punished. So, just to avoid that punishment, the child might be motivated to work. So, extrinsic motivation has positive as well as negative effect. Now, what are the educational implications of it? The child centric approach to teaching is developed with the help of motivation. When you see that the child is motivated, maybe self motivated, or maybe some external driving force is actually behind it, it doesn't matter, but it helps the education system to build a child centric approach towards teaching, which helps the child to understand better. And of course the curriculum also is designed in such a way that is more suitable for the child, as well as the environment that is created, the educational environment that is given to him, the books, the teaching methods that are used, or the curriculum is apt for them, because it is all thought for, they are kept in mind while creating that particular curriculum. Now, incentive motives learning. So we come to know, we learn about how to self motivate ourselves. It is very important, even in our daily life, it is very important to be self motivated. It is not necessary that to do something, one has to be after you all the time, correct? It matters a lot how much you can drive yourself, because nobody knows you better than yourself. So it is very important to work on these areas where learning is, the intense incentives, the incentives that are attached uh, to the result motivates learning. So we come to know that the child is actually motivated because of the incentives attached to the learning. We also know that internal motivation is a longer lasting thing and more self directive than is external motivation, which must be repeatedly reinforced by praise or concrete rewards. So it's very important, if you see somebody is self motivated, it is important to recognize, to appreciate that person, so that he keeps on motivating himself from within and drives towards better goals. Next is the role of motivation in learning process. How does motivation helps in the learning process? It engages the learner with the teaching process, with the teacher, with the learning environment. There's an engagement between the learner as well as the teacher. Persistence. The learner will always consistently work for his or her goal. Okay. There's a retention. When you're self motivated, or when you're motivated, basically, not even self motivated, when you're motivated, you'll always, there'll be a retention, the retention rate will be high. What does that mean? That you are able to keep things, or take away things in a positive way that is going to remain for a longer period of time in your mind. Higher achievements. When you're motivated, you always you always aim for a better, a higher goal. You aim and then you try to achieve that aim. If you're not motivated, you will not think big, you'll not think beyond your certain limits. So what you do is, if you are self motivated, or if you are working for some reward, or if you are working for avoiding some punishment, you'll always think big, and you will try to modify your behavior in such a manner that you are trying to achieve it as soon as possible and as better as possible. The fifth one is positive learning experience. It is always positive. When you are motivated, you feel good about learning things. You are having a positive environment around you. Then you have performance, of course. The quality of performance also increases. It is far better than, as compared to a person who is not motivated. If you're not interested, if you're not motivated to do something, then your performance will also be not that great, because you're just not interested in doing it, right? And improvement it is always developing. your performance will keep on improving and improving as you go further. So these are the main roles of motivation in the learning process. Now let's learn how the teacher can help a learner in fostering the motivation. Fostering motivation means in getting motivated. How? What is the role of the teacher? How will a teacher help a child if the child is not motivated? If the child is not interested in learning, what are the important things that a teacher can uh, start or introduce to motivate the child? First, creating a positive learning environment. It is very important. If your class is dull, if your class is a negative one, if nobody is interested, there's no new methods of teaching, there are no creative teaching aids used, the lesson is not planned, the teacher has no content knowledge, then of course your children will not have that positive learning environment. So it's very important for a teacher to give a positive learning environment to each and every one. Setting high expectation, a teacher should keep on talking about it with the child. The the teacher has to make them understand what they're working for. It's very important to have high expectations. Only then you'll be focusing, and you'll be putting collective efforts to reach or achieve those high expectations. Making learning relevant, it should be a relevant thing for them. It shouldn't be that there's a commerce class and you're trying to teach bio in it, where the child's interest is in business, and you are trying to make him understand about the environment or a human body. So it has to be relevant to what the interest of the child is. Then we have providing autonomy and choice. We shouldn't be forcing anything on the learner. It should be absolutely, the learner should be free to choose what he wants to learn or what she wants to pursue. What are there what he or she should be in a position to let us know as a teacher, that what is exactly his or her interest. If we are not talking about what he or she likes, then probably he or she might not be interested and will not be motivated. So if you want a child to be motivated, it's important to talk about his interest. Correct? Setting clear goals and expectations, it's very important that we tell them that these are your goals, or what are your goals. Try to understand what their goals are, what they expect, and what are we expecting, or what are their parents expecting, or what are the general expectations from them, for them to understand where are they supposed to go. If they see that, okay, this is a peak, this is a mountain in front of them, and they are supposed to reach there, only then they will put their first step forward. Otherwise, if they don't have any goal in front of them, the learner will never start his or her journey unless he or she is self motivated. So it's very important for a teacher to create that environment where children feel motivated, feel encouraged, feel positive about the learning process. Now, there's a theory behind it. It is being given by Maslow's theory. It is given by Maslow's. It is called the psychological theory. Now, let's learn about it. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a theory of psychology proposed by Abraham Maslow in his 1943 paper, A Theory of Human Motivation, in Psychological Review. Maslow subsequently extended the idea to include his observation of human innate curiosity. His theory paralleled many other theories of human development psychology, some of which focus on describing the stages of growth in humans. Maslow used the term physiological, safety, belongingness, and love, esteem, and self actualization and self transcendence to describe the pattern that human motivation generally move through. So basically, there is a hierarchy, that is the hierarchy of needs, which is being explained through with the help of a pyramid. Okay, so there's a pyramid which has physiological needs like breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep, or what we generally say the basic needs, okay, of any person. So there has to be a need to be motivated. See, if I am hungry, for example, if I'm hungry, there is a need of food. So I'll work for food, correct? So these are the physiological needs are the common and the basic needs that a person might be motivated for. The second stage that he says can be a safety or security need. Now, sometimes we do certain things or behave in certain manner for our own safety. So that also can motivate you. Like, for example, mm, if you're changing your behavior, like for example, you don't um, uh, if you are trying to safeguard yourself from something, okay, some children you'll find that they just run, they don't have a fear of falling or anything. But if they fall and if they understand that falling is a problem, then safety comes into a picture, and then they understand that they have to be careful while running in future so that their safety is taken care of. So they get motivated to walk straight or to make necessary changes while walking so that they don't again fall. Then comes love and belonging. Of course, for getting love, for belongingness, to have sympathy, all these things. People also work or behave or act in particular manner. They are self motivated. Then there is a self esteem. You have confidence, achievement, respect for others, the need to be unique individual. This is also one of the motivational aspects which can motivate a person to live better. Then you have self actualization, which is morality, creativity, spontaneity, acceptance, experience, purpose, meaning, and inner potentials. So basically, Maslow hierarchy of need were divided into five steps. The first being the physiological needs, the basic needs, followed by safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, self actualization. I just hope today's session was an interesting one for all of you, and I hope that you are going to remain self motivated throughout your life. So I just hope this session was fruitful for all of you, and it was wonderful sharing my little knowledge with all of you. Thank you once again. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.